Hello, welcome to Riverside Public Library's summer reading program, Reading Colors Your World adult program. I'm Marlene, and today I will be demonstrating how to turn your everyday treats into something special with a chocolate marbling effect. Place your chocolate in a microwave-safe container and microwave in 40-second intervals. You can microwave on high. I prefer to use a food-safe plastic container to melt my chocolate over glass because glass will get hotter to the touch and you don't want to burn yourself or the chocolate. Stir thoroughly between every 40 seconds. If the chocolate gets too hot, it will harden, which means it's probably burned and it will no longer be good for dipping. You will need to repeat this process maybe 3 to 5 times depending on how much chocolate you are using as your base color. You will eventually feel the chocolate begin to soften. It's always better to stir thoroughly towards the end of the melting process when the chocolate's consistency is smooth and runny. That way you do not risk overheating and burning the chocolate. When it looks like this, probably just another 40 seconds. To achieve a marbling effect, you will need at least 2 or more different colors of chocolate. Always heating in 40-second intervals and stirring after each 40 seconds. They are beginning to soften. With this small amount, you will probably just need another 40 seconds. But remember to stir each color thoroughly. You can purchase melting chocolates at any cake or candy or baking supply store. Other items you will need during this process include sandwich baggies or piping bags. Also, something non-stick to place your treats on after dipping so they can cool and the chocolate can set, such as a silicone baking mat or wax paper. Even parchment paper will work for treats like these. One thing I'd like to mention is moisture and chocolate. You never want to get any moisture near your chocolate. It will cause the chocolate to seize up and it will not be able to melt properly. Always make sure any utensils or containers you're using and your work area are completely dry and moisture free. Pour your different colored chocolate into a sandwich baggie, or if you have piping bags, those also work. Use a different bag for each color. You will have your base color in a larger container that we previously melted. This container will be used for dipping your treats, so make sure it is large enough. Make sure your baggies are securely closed. Today we're going to be dipping marshmallows, Rice Krispie treats, and cookies. You can just stick a couple of marshmallows on a stick or popsicle stick. This is an apple stick. Snip a corner off each baggie. Don't worry about the size, if it's too big or too small. It'll still work fine inside the chocolate. When you're ready to add your chocolate, do so in a back and forth motion. When you do the next color, you do the same back and forth motion, just in an opposite direction. And do that with each color you're using. Then dip your treat. I like to make sure my treat is completely covered in the chocolate. To get the marbling effect, just do a twist, and it should give you that marbling effect. So while you're pulling the treat out, make sure you are twisting the treat. Add some more chocolate. Dip completely and twist the treat as you're pulling it out. That one looks better. With the Rice Krispie treat, you will dip in about 1/3 of the way up, giving it a little back and forth shake inside the chocolate, and also while you're pulling it out of the chocolate. Wipe the edge and turn it over. You can shake it a little bit so the chocolate can settle. And there you have a marbling effect on that. I'm going to switch to a smaller container. You'll find what's comfortable for you, whether you want to add more or less chocolate, a container that you're more comfortable using, but still every time adding just in a back and forth motion in an opposite direction. This is very simple to do. There's no right or wrong. And this one looks really good. When taking any of your treats out, you can also just kind of tap them to get the excess off. You can also refrigerate them to set the chocolate if you prefer. And doing Oreos, you just fill the mold about 1/4 of the way up, just making sure that the bottom is completely covered. The chocolate is already all mixed in, so it'll already have that marbling effect. You don't need to stir it or anything like that. And then you'll just place a cookie on top. A good thing to remember though is to tap a little bit to get the air bubbles out, and then place your cookies in, just gently pressing them in. And then we'll add more chocolate on top, completely covering the Oreo. At any time, you can add more chocolate colors. Just tapping them a little. I just like to make sure they're completely covered. If you do have some overflow, we can scrape that off once the chocolate is cooled. And then I put these in the refrigerator for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. You'll know they're ready when they just pop out with the slightest touch. And this is the little bit of the overflow, which you can break off, or sometimes I'll just get a little edge of a knife and scrape it a little. And see? It has a marbling effect on top. If you want more of an effect, you can use a darker color, less white, more of the colors you're using. So thank you for watching.